Hey guys, Tarke here, and this is my day 2 update, recording this before I fall asleep. Level 86 this time, a couple of bars from 87. I'm going to keep mapping, but I've got a few maps lined up. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on Soulrend and give a bit of pointers and advice, since people seem to be getting a little bit lost. I'm really enjoying Soulrend. So, the Soulrend versus Bane debate, we had this conversation yesterday, and some people still don't really seem to get why you'd play Soulrend over Bane. The reason why I personally play Soulrend over Bane is the targeting and the playstyle feels amazing. For it to feel good though, you need to have GMP, you need to have a bit of cast speed, and preferably a little bit of duration. If you tried it while leveling, Bane is going to feel so much better. Like, so much better. Especially in big open maps like this though, Soulrend is so fucking juicy. I also really like it for the memory fragments, because I can just shoot it in random directions without really thinking, and I can cover everything, no problem. And I can just be running forward through the collapsing stuff. So as you can see here, I can just like shoot it off in all directions. And because I've got a lot of AoE investment and a lot of projectile investment, you clear basically everything. So people ask, why do you want area on Soulrend? Does it do area damage? No, it does not do area damage, but it does apply its damage in an area. So the more AoE you have, the more coverage you have. And also, AoE does increase your single target. The reason why increased area scaling increases your single target is the way that the debuff works is it's a rapidly reapplying debuff in the area around the projectile. So if you have more AoE, your projectile will reapply the debuff more often onto the boss. Not Bisco's feels bad, man. So you need to have a nice like balancing act of like duration scaling, AoE scaling, and projectile speed. So Tarke, does that mean I want to run slower proj? The amount of people who've asked me, Tarke, do I use slower proj? No. Slower proj is terrible on Soulrend. I have no understanding why anyone would run it. I'll do that after this. So the reason why I think slower proj is awful, it doesn't increase your damage at all. Because Soulrend doesn't scale with projectile damage, it only scales with projectile speed. So, putting slower proj in your link doesn't increase your single target damage at all. All it does is increase like the debuff duration on the boss. So if you want to do that, just run increased duration as your 6th link, which is what I've been doing. So increased duration as your 6th link not only increases your single target damage because the debuff lasts longer, it also increases your map clear substantially because it means that your debuff will last long enough to one-shot any rare. I have enough damage currently that I can one-shot any rare all the way into tier 8s, 9s, which is where I'm at currently. And not super far, but it's kind of where we're at. For context, my tooltip dot damage is 104k without frenzies. I can run Blood Rage for frenzies, since I don't take the Swift Killer Ascendancy. And you're probably wondering, oh my god, Alva, stop spawning. You're probably wondering, like, Tarke, how do you have so much cast speed? And that comes into some other clusters on the skill tree I'll talk about later in the whole dual wielding scenario. But yeah, do not run slower proj. So, does that mean that increased duration is the optimal 6th link? I like it currently, but there are lots of other options you want. If you want just damage, you can run the Energy Shield Leech, because that has a damage multiplier built into it. If you're not Eldritch... that felt bad. If you're not Eldritch Battery, I would use Arcane Surge as the 6th link. And on that note, the mana cost of Soulrend is really, really high. Which is why I rushed Eldritch Battery, even though I'm not Mind Over Matter yet. The reason I'm not Mind Over Matter yet, even though I have my Uber Lab and my Uber Ascendancy Escape Artist can give me a bunch of, like, basically that node alone gives about 1k energy shields once you equip a half-decent chest, with roughly 2k-ish evasion, is I'm still using my Tabula. I have got a Queen of the Forest with 4 off-colors. I'm just trying to 5-link it minimum, and then once I've linked it, I'll swap that in. Then once I have that... Prophecy, by the way. I will then go into Mind Over Matter EB. So while leveling, I did rush Eldritch Battery, so I didn't need to worry about mana. and so I could run more auras. The auras that I'm currently running is Malevolence, which gives damage over time a multiplier and some skill effect duration, and Grace. If you don't want to run Grace, you can run Zealotry for more damage. I feel like I don't need more damage because my clear is perfectly fine already. So that's just been like no issue whatsoever. So,
need a map?
With that, my single target setup, currently I'm just throwing a Bane down because my Bane also applies my Despair. I drop a Wither Totem when I remember to, and that's kind of that. You can use Blight if you want to with the Threshold Jewel. You can use Vol Blight. I haven't bothered setting up all my links yet. It's kind of been whatever. I've just been saving all my fuses, chromes, jewelers, everything to just throw into my Queen of the Forest. Now, when it comes into the cast speed thing I spoke about earlier, so how do I have so much cast speed? There's a very broken cluster, and I'm saying broken, like, we're talking spiritual aid levels of broken. Oh yeah, you can hop into the boss. Nice thing about Private League, everyone's yoinking map clear off each other. Yeah, spiritual aid levels are broken, and it's the Dark Art Dual Wield cluster in Templar. Now, the thing which makes this cluster so good is you don't even need to be a dual wield build to make use of this cluster. And you're like, but you just said it's a dual wield cluster. The reason why you don't need to be a dual wield build is the bonuses are global, and then some additional bonuses are if you're dual wielding weapons. I'll show you after this boss what I mean. So, also if you notice that if I run out of energy shield, I actually purposely get hit because that procs my Ghost Shroud, and then my ES instantly shoots back up. So let me show you the cluster that I was referring to. So this cluster here. So 4% cast speed while dual wielding. Obviously, you need to be dual wielding. This 15% cooldown recovery speed of movement skills. You just have this. So you could be using any weapon type, and this will give you 15% cooldown recovery of movement skills. And this will also give you 15% cooldown recovery of movement skills. So if you are routing this way for 3 points, think of it like each point is 10% cooldown recovery. Really, really strong for Flame Dash. Really good for Phase Run. And if you were playing a Blink Arrow build, actually amazing multiplier. And then the final node gives you 10% attack and cast speed if you've used a movement skill recently, 30% mana regen if you've used a movement skill recently, 10 dex and int. Again, none of those have to do with dual wielding. So even if you're not dual wielding, if you're already at this cluster, you get the cooldown recovery, and you get the attack and cast speed, the mana regen, and the dex. Then if you happen to be a dual build, you get additional 9% cast speed from these 2 points. These nodes also give spell damage while dual wielding and movement speed. So this is a very good cluster if you're dual wielding, and just a very good cluster that everyone should be taking who's anywhere in this part of the tree. If you're wondering why my tree looks so stupid, Eldritch Battery for leveling. I'm hoping to get Devouring Diadem, Devouring Daedom. Apparently both pronunciations are correct, by the way, so people got triggered by that. And I'm going to root through this bit, drop this top section once I have the helmet, because the helmet gives me Eldritch Battery. So that's why I'm rooting through this way, because I'm trying not to go crazy on regrets. On the whole, should you go Life, should you go Hybrid, should you go Might of Matter, should you go EB, should you go CI? If you're playing Bane, not Soulrend focus, I would do what Waggle did. So Waggle went traditional Mind over Matter, but using the new Trickster Escape Artist node to have Hybrid on top with Acro Phase Acro, and he's very tanky. He's got like 5k life, like 2k-ish energy shield, and then Mind over Matter. Super, super tank. If you're playing Soulrend, the mana cost is so crazy, you have to be EB, dude. Either that or you have to be pure Mind over Matter and like have a lot of investment into mana. It's really, really nutty. So that's also why I really recommend Trickster over Occultist if you're playing pure Soulrend. If you're playing Bane, if you're playing Essence Ray Contagion, then sure, Occultist, whatever, who cares. If you want to play a pure self-cast Soulrend build, Trickster, no-brainer in my opinion. The cast speed is too powerful. Way too strong. Now, since we just dived to the League mechanic there, I guess we should talk about what do I think about the League mechanics, since, you know, Reddit's been crying about League mechanic stuff, there's been lots of complaints. I really like it. So the reason why I really like it is it's very overwhelming, but once you've run it a couple of times, you kind of get an understanding of how it all functions. So you genuinely dribble on the keyboard. Like, the first time I did the memory frag zone, I was like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I was like, oh, I get it now. Ah. And then once it clicks in your head, it just works. It just clicks like that. Now, not only that, even if you ignore the memory frag zone completely, you can think of each memory frag in each map as like a super incursion or a super breach. It's just a map within a map. It gives crazy good returns in terms of experience. It gives very good currency because you just get a lot of drops. Even if you don't like the fractured drops or the synthesized drops, you just get items dropping. You get lots of 6 sockets, you get lots of currency. It's very, very rewarding. And when the synthesized fractured rewards come from, that's from once we understand all the different recipes, because there are recipes, we just don't know how the recipes will work yet. I still need to do my temple, by the way. So yeah, the real rewards will come once we know more about it, but even if you do nothing, you can just treat it as an incursion. So that's also huge. So let's go into like what weapons I'm using and stats and all this other stuff. I'm currently dual wielding wands, obviously, and the ones I'm going for is non-ailment chaos damage chain multiplier, portal up for Wolf Boss. I'm going to yoink that real quick. This is a no-brainer. Breath of the Council is a noob trap weapon in my opinion. You're probably paying through the nose if you're in a trade league for that. Screw that. Don't do that rubbish. Instead, just get yourself a nice wand. They just drop with this mod, like just drop as rares. Your ideal wand would have a high spell damage roll, a high non-ailment chaos damage over time roll, just like on the item without any crafting, and then you would like multi-mod chaos damage increased skill effect duration. This is a tier 1. The tier 3 gives a bunch more skill effect duration. Then like trigger a socketed spell, and then like trigger arcane surge on kill. The one bad thing about Eldritch Battery is we cannot use arcane surge as our 6th link, which is what I would use for a pure mana setup or for a CI setup. Because arcane surge as a link is actually very good for these dot builds. So anyone who is playing mana or CI focus, I would definitely recommend using that. So because wands are so good, and because not many people pick up wands, and the great thing about wands is there are only 3 socket items in your inventory, your loot filters have every single wand base with an implicit of like either cast speed or 30% spell damage on your filter. You would be surprised how many good weapons you pick up. That's a good drop. You get a lot of good things drop, and they use up very little space. Get rid of daggers, get rid of scepters, get rid of all that trash. Wands is where it's at. Wands is the real shit right now. Really solid. Now, once you've done all of that, and you've got your filter set up, you go, okay, I know how to Soulrend, I know if I want to Bane, if I want to Essence Drain, whatever. What else is there really to look out for? Basically just defenses. So you need to decide early on, do you want to go for the CI setup? Do you want to go for the EB setup? And then what kind of chess piece you're going to go to get the most use out of your escape artist. So my plan is to go Queen of the Forest, full zoom. Once my atlas is set up, run lots of open layouts. You can see I've got pretty good clear. I've got decent single target. And then just power farm as much currency as I can. And then just really min-max this build. But first off, just focus on getting that experience. All the real fine-tuning you can do with builds is important, but right now the more important thing is just to play, set up your atlas, get levels, get XP, get kills, and it will just come naturally. Have I had any issues with single target? Nothing up to tier 9. I've done 4 or 5 Zeri runs. Haven't had any issues damage-wise with the Zeris. I've had some I'm stupid issues with the Zeris and 20% haste. I've had a few Flame Dash deaths into Flame Blast, which we won't talk about. Ubrazar is super clean. This is actually also a pretty decent build to farm Uberlab on if you want to. It's got a lot of natural regen. I've got something like 6.3% regen on my tree. And then whenever you kill as a Trickster, you get 70% increased regen, which scales that above 10%. So that's makes running lab incredibly easy. It can also run any map mod, and that's the main reason why I picked this build. I like builds which can run all the trials and everything super easy. I need to get that map. Super easy early on, and can run the lab and everything, and don't need to run over any map mods. Having to roll over map mods sucks at the start of League when you've got limited currency. It never feels good. Other skills that I'm mildly interested in, that I want to try out. I really want to try out Stormburst. I really want to try out Wave of Conviction and Divine Ire. Those all seem very interesting to me. when it comes to weird mechanical things with Soulrend, as we saw with stuff like dying through walls, I've noticed a few times now. Oh god, hey, it's Zeri.
She should be long dead.
Alright, let's try and concentrate for a second. I've noticed a few times I seem to like hit through walls, and I'm not sure if I'm imagining it, but I seem to like aggro off screen through stuff that my projectile should have no excuse hitting, but it just happens to hit anyway. Also on that note, when you get Syndicate and Betrayal, nice bleed on me by the way, proccing, you need to be careful with the transportation. Ouch. You need to be careful with the transportation, because the transportation you can off screen. That ruined the flow of that video. Feels bad, man. That was going really smoothly until then, and now I've completely lost my train of thought. Feels bad. Ignite hurts. Bleed hurts. That really threw me off. Let's go back, get Zeri down, and then I'll finish the video on that. Not editing it out. Honest streamer. Honest softcore player. A megalon.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Feels good. Feels good. Terrible build. Can't even kill it Zeri. Feels good, man. Oh, also after I do the Zeri, I will quickly show you some of the drops that I've had. I've had some pretty sick drops so far in the sleeve, which I kind of want to show off. Get the old GGG Bex PayPal credit card flex, you know. Can I get back on that? Yes. What? I did a bunch of it Zeris, no problem. Apparently, I'm too tired to do it Zeri now, and I'm still not editing this out because still an honest streamer. Hardcore viable build. Haste. Like, to be fair, this is 40%, you know, monster attack and cast speed, because we're getting haste in the temple on top of private league haste. You know, excuses are starting to happen now. He said it was a good build. He said he could do it Zeri, no problem. Deathlog says otherwise. More excuses, bruh. Can't wait for them YouTube comments. The YouTube comments are going to be really good on this video. Put a TP there now. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Probably a TP there. Played hardcore for 5 years, by the way. Went to softcore last league. Hasn't affected my gameplay in the slightest. Alright, let's just get this down this time. That was a quick flame blast. Fuck. Right, look. Okay. Look. This is... Oh, now she's gonna full heal. Look, this isn't the point. The point is, as I really like Soulrend, right? Soulrend is a really good build, okay? And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to show you guys a day 2 update. GGG, please. Look, right? This super turbo Itziri is, you know, this video is getting kind of awkward now. It was funny the first time. Now it's just getting really cringe. If I die to this again, I'm uninstalling PoE. I'm gonna become a Minecraft streamer. Let's play channel. Let's go. Okay. Easy, first try, got the flask. So, no Minecraft stream for this guy. I did just use my last portal then, did I? No, I've still got some portals left, of course. Let me show you my loot. We can finish up the video here, and I'll give you the next update tomorrow. So, this is my 4 off-color Queen of the Forest that I'm trying to link up there. And then, so as to the good items, we've got the Sin's Rebirth, which I talked about earlier. I got a max Vol skill reduction soul catcher, which I'm very happy with, which I'll use on a build later. And then I got this disgusting jewel. Crit multi with lightning skills, crit multi with eddy skills, crit multi while dual wielding. I'm planning on doing a bunch of dual wielding elemental lightning skills, like Stormburst was an elemental lightning skill, for example. Like if you divine this up, this is a lot of multi. And then I'll Leo Slam it for the last thing. Insanely disgusting duel. And then I also got the Nurse. We've also had 2 Doctors drop in my league. We've had basically every unique. We've had 2 Combs. We've had 2 Shroud of the Lightless. Like, everything's dropping in my league. So, yeah. Private leagues, you know, this bullshit that, oh, we never get items in private leagues. We get loads of items in private leagues, you know. You just gotta die to its Zeri 10 times first. So, see how well this turned out. And we got rewarded with a max Fizz roll. Elemental roll, one there. Guess I can show over my other gear slots, you know, and curious. Just Life Fluent Seed resists, Life resists, Life resists, Life resist Dex, Life resists. This is a pretty nice Ami. This could be Life triple res, but I went for the casting because I need more resist right now. And then Life resist, bit of ES, and then obviously the Tabular, which when we drop in for the Queen, I'll be like 5k-ish life, 4.7. Yeah, just under 5k. I'm Tarke. That was a clean, smooth Day 2 League update. Loving the Soulrend. You wouldn't have died if you were playing a Bane Occultist, you noob. Can't believe he's recommending Soulrend Trickster. Can't even kill it Zeri to people. Hehehehe. Bye-bye.